Good afternoon all. Yeah, good afternoon Sayana, good afternoon Sneha, Arya Krishnan, good afternoon everybody. I have got a few messages in our official WhatsApp that you all are benefited by the program. Good to hear that. In the days to come it can only improve, that we shall ensure. And I am very sure that you have come reading the Hindu dated November 9. I told you many times before that to have the best benefit of this program, you must come prepared. You must come by reading the newspapers in detail. Then only you can have the best benefit of the program. Then only I will be able to communicate properly with you. Then only the communication can be perfect. You will understand what I am speaking about. So take the pain, spend a lot of time in reading the newspapers. Newspaper reading is an integral part of preparation for all competitive examinations of national character, and that is the case with the bank test and staff selection railway examinations. So a 6 months of very clear newspaper reading is essential. I remember during our times when I started preparing for all India examinations, including the State Bank Probation Officer examination, what we looked at was very prudently reading the newspaper. We knew that the mathematics and reasoning would improve very quickly. It is all about spending time in front of the table doing questions one after the other. But we equally knew that the crucial paper would be general awareness and English, and that was made possible only because we spent a lot of time in reading the newspapers. General awareness is a hard nut to crack, but now compared to what it was during our times, the exams are getting tougher and tougher, and they are pinpointedly asking questions. So the quality of reading is essential. So ensure that you spend good enough time. Don't think that you are wasting your time. So make sure you spend quality 2 hours in reading the newspapers. So let me begin with November 9 newspaper, The Hindu. Thank you all once again for wishing me. My wishes to you too. Yes, the main discussion has been on Joe Biden pledges to unite United States of America. The title seems to be very apt, what the Hindu has given, because in the history of United States elections, the population has never been divided as it was this time. So Joe Biden has pledged in his initial address to the public, which lasted for only 15 minutes, he said he would be the president to unite the already divided American society. So pledging to be the president of all Americans, he said he would not be the president of only blue states, he would be the president of red states too. Red means what went with Donald Trump, blue means what went with the Democrats. So he said he would be the president of all the states of United States of America, and he would not be the president of only the blue states. So that was a very rewarding statement, and also he has given signals, ample signals, that he would revoke many of the policy decisions taken by the Trump administration. You see, it was a disaster that a person of Donald Trump's kind became the president of the biggest and most powerful democracy in the world, because he was a person who would act with all whims and fancies, which was not expected of an American president, because any policy decision by the President of United States of America will have ramifications all across the world. American decision to move away from Paris Agreement was a disaster, because America is the greatest pollutant, the cause of pollution in the world. So, that America moved out of the Paris Agreement on climate change. So, American president's decision, American administration's decisions will have wider ramifications in the world. So, what we require is a president and a government or an administration that is very consistent with its policies. So, hopefully Joe Biden, listen, take note of all the finer information regarding the new President of United States of America, that he is the oldest, he is going to be the oldest serving President of United States of America. All these things may come for your examination maybe a few months later. So, at that time, if you have not taken down any of these notes, you would not be able to recollect. So, please make sure that you jot down all the points. He will be 78 when he assumes the office of the President of United States of America on January 20, 2021. And also, in the history of American elections, nobody else has won as many popular votes as Joe Biden has made. This could be because people really wanted to vote this time. Generally, people have a kind of a lackadaisical attitude towards American elections. People do not go to vote, unlike in India. In India, people go to vote. Our voting percentage is, for a big country like India, 55%, 60% is a huge number. But in America, generally the percentage votes is very minimum, but this time it is expected that 65% of the population voted, and thanks to COVID, maximum number of people used email voting facility. So, these are things that you should know, these are things that you should know. So, please ensure that you write down the finer points and keep them in your memory. Maybe at the time of examination, these all finer points will come into being. And mind you, a new vice president is also going to the White House, and she is the first woman to become the vice president, the first Asian, the first Afro-Asian person to be the vice president of United States of America. So, all these things are going to be very, very important, and mind you, Kamala Harris, the vice president of India, has got certain Indian connections also. So, it is going to be very, very important. Let me read one of the comments. I have a doubt about this election, whether the voting percentage will be 50-50. So, who will get the electoral votes? See, 50-50 is something very rare, and 50-50 will not happen. When the base goes up, the chance of having 50-50 is very minimum. See, that is the case here also. What if both the parties get 50 and 50? No, that is not the case. When the base goes up, 50-50 is not a probability. But again, I shall tell you what is happening to American elections. Please listen to the board. Listen, this is how American elections take place. There are 50 states in the United States of America, 50 states. California and Texas are very big states, and there are Arkansas and all, which are very small states. So, there are 538 electoral college votes in the United States of America, 538 electoral college votes. So, listen, in Texas, suppose there are 34 electoral college votes, 34 electoral college votes in Texas. Suppose there are 1 lakh voters, 1 lakh voters in United States of in Texas, and Democrats and the Republicans. So, the Democrats got, say, 51,000 votes, and the Republicans 49 popular votes. So, here Republicans got more votes than the, Democrats got more votes than the Republicans. Then what will happen? the entire 34 electoral college votes will go in favor of the Democrats. These votes are not divided in the ratio of 51:49, but since Democrats got more popular votes, the entire 34 electoral college votes will go to the Democrats. This is how American elections take place. And what is the magic figure out of 538? So the magic figure is 270. Democrat Joe Biden has become the President of the United States of America because he got 270 plus. That is how American elections take place. So don't worry too much about that 50-50. 50-50 is possible. Suppose 2 people vote, then it can be 50-50. Probability is very high, half chance. But when it is 100, the base is 100, 50-50 chances come down. When it is lakh, when it is thousands and lakhs, 50-50 chances are very, very less. Okay, anyway. So let us continue. I hope it is clear to you, Reshma. Now the second news, open to Supreme Court to initiate suo motu contempt case against Jagan Mohan Reddy. So suo motu, I told you yesterday, it is a Latin word, on by itself. That is the meaning of suo motu. Court can take a suo motu case. Suo motu case can, any court can take. But here what happens is that I shall tell you the context. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagmohan Reddy wrote a letter to the Supreme Court Chief Justice saying that one of the senior most judges of the Supreme Court, Justice Ramana, he is the next in the queue to become the next Chief Justice of India when the current Chief Justice retires. So he made a charge that Justice Ramana is intervening in many legal issues in the state. He is using his office, he is using all his influence to help the former Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu against some of the scandals against him alleged by the present government. So, and this particular issue was leaked, this particular paper was leaked to the press also. So the court has taken suo motu contempt case against Jagmohan Reddy. If the court is to take a contempt case against any person, that contempt case must be cleared by the Attorney General of India. That is a court procedure. Attorney General of India, as I told you, is the highest law officer of the government. So Attorney General initially said he would not clear, but now he says that it is up to the court to take move. All the things are with you, the court can take suo motu contempt case. Whether the court will move or not is something that we have to wait. Already done. The next is the article India and Biden. This is the center page editorial of the Hindu. What is going to be Indian government's relationship with Democrats? Listen, governments may change, but diplomacy between the states may not change much. There has to be consistency, and there will be consistency. India's relationship with the United States of America is not something very new. It is a long term one, and of course when a person of Donald Trump's kind, an unpredictable person of Donald Trump's kind is in the office of American presidency, there can be doubts in the mind of other people too. But Joe Biden is a very experienced campaigner for the position of United States of America, and we can expect more consistency from American relations with India. We know that recently the 2+2 summit was held in India. The 2+2 means the defense minister and foreign affairs minister of both the countries. American Secretary of State is the Indian equivalent of the foreign minister, American State Secretary and American Defense Secretary, and from India, Indian Defense Minister and Indian Foreign Affairs Minister. Defense Minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh and the Foreign Affairs Minister is Mr. Jaishankar. This is 2+2, these meeting took place in India, and democracies can converse better, and India and United States of America are long term friends, and India is the biggest democracy while America is the oldest and the most powerful democracy in the world. So, there are the relations are natural. So, with the change in government, the relations are not going to end, rather it is going to be more smooth. So, let us see what is going to happen. Walk the talk. India must ensure regulatory certainty while seeking to woo global investors. The Hindu was referring to Prime Minister Modi's recent address at the virtual Global Investor Roundtable. He was trying to meet big investors in the world and to showcase India as an excellent investment destination. Of course, India has got many pluses when compared to China. We know that China is an autocratic country, a dictatorship country. The dictatorship of Communist Party prevails there, but India is an open democracy. India is an open democracy where even government can be questioned. Even government cannot make laws abruptly, but in China what the party says is the law. So, it will be easier for investors and business houses to communicate with a democracy than with an autocratic country like China. So, India has got its own pluses, but what the editorial suggests is that we have to show regulatory certainty. An investor will always be looking at the possibility of returns. What is going to be the returns to the investment is something that an investor will always look at. So, to ensure returns to investment, there must be regulatory certainty. Hindu was specifically referring to the case against Vodafone. The income tax department has lost a case against Vodafone, and the court has in the international court, and saying that this much of a huge amount of money has to be returned to the income tax, to the Vodafone. So, the court says that the center is yet to clarify, the newspaper says that center is yet to clarify whether it will accept or challenge the tossing of its tax claim against Vodafone. Income tax department has made a huge claim of tax against Vodafone, and it actually lost the case. Now, whether the government will move against the challenge, this court verdict, or government will go with the verdict is something that the investors are looking at. So, that will give a very clear cut signal how the government thinks. So, whether it will be investor friendly or whether it will confront investors. So, you cannot have both the things at the same time. Through one side you are wooing investors, through the other side you are providing regulatory inconsistencies. Those will not go, these things will not mesh well. So, this is what the essence of this particular editorial titled Walk the Talk. Please read. 𝐼𝐶𝐵 is the former Chief Election Commissioner of India. In the context of United States elections, he was comparing the Election Commission of India with the Federal Election Commission of United States of America. He says that the Federal Election Commission of United States of America is a weaker body when compared to the Election Commission of India. If you talk about the Election Commission of India, you see, with all kinds of honesty we can say that it was the former Chief Election Commissioner T.N. Seshan who gave the real teeth to the Election Commission of India. With all kind of regard and respect that we should keep to all election commissioners of India, we must say that all the chief election commissioners before T.N. Seshan had been mere doormats to the government. They were there just to make sure that the people in power were happy. But Chief Election Commissioner T.N. Seshan taught us that there is an institution, CEC, Institution of Election Commission in India. And now if politicians are scared of anybody, it is the Election Commission. But again, what we did was that, of course, there was a time when there was only one election commissioner and it was a very powerful organization. Mind you, Election Commission of India does not have huge staffs with them. During the time of election, when the model code of conduct is announced, then the Election Commission generally hire people from the government, and until the model code of conduct is cancelled or annulled, these people become the service personnel of the Election Commission of India. That is the idea. So, Election Commission of India, there are 6 election commissioners in United States of America, and 3 from Democrats and 3 from Republican. These are the ideas that we get. So, this article gives you ample chance to understand how election process are taking place, or he is comparing the election commissioner, election CEC of India or election commission of India with its counterpart in United States of America. A readable article. COVID-19, climate and carbon neutrality. Jairam Ramesh is the former Minister of Environment in India, and he says that through this article he says that it is a chance for our country to make sure that our policies become more green. We got to have greener policy, and he rightly says that in GDP, G has not to be gross, but it has to be green. Listen, this article speaks about sustainable development. So, what is meant by sustainable development? We know that in the name of development, we are overutilizing the resources of the world, of the planet, more often forever. So, when we say that we are growing, through the other side the resources are whittling down and vanishing forever. That is not sustainable growth. Sustainable growth means a kind of a balanced growth, growth with taking care of our planet. So, that sort of growth is what is sustainable. Other growth is not sustainable. That is the essence of this article, a good article. It points to the fact that COVID-19 can become an eye opener in the field of making the planet more green. Please read, it is a good article. Listen, understanding the 3 E's, evolution, ecology and environment, will be key to identifying potential pandemics. He says that a cleaner environment, a cleaner planet will have a good role to play in containing possible pandemics in the future. So, please read, it is a very good article, you must read. Kamala Harris, we all are proud to say that an Indian, of a person with Indian roots, is in White House now. So, this article speaks about her last visit with her mother. Last visit was in 2009 or 2011. Her mother Sarala Gopalan died in 2005, and a few lines were really touching. Dr. Gopalan, Kamala Harris' grandfather, allowed her daughter at the age of 19 in pursuit of academic excellence. He sent her daughter to United States of America when she got an opportunity to study there. So, in 1950, nearly 70 years back, at that time 70 years back in India, a bold decision was taken by a father to send her daughter, who was just 19 years of age, to go to the other part of the planet, the other continent, the other half of the planet, and that changed. So, some decisions taken inadvertently can change even the history of a nation. So, Kamala Harris has become the Vice President of United States of America. So, as rightly she said during his inaugural, his first address to the nation, she said, I could be the first woman to come to the White House as the Vice President, but I will never be the last. So, I will not be the last. So, anyway, these are promising statements. Please read this article, and this is not to be read to get any answer for your probable questions in your forthcoming exams, but it is to energize ourselves. So, a newspaper serves purposes in many ways. Please read. Experts want more US action on climate. Listen, I am sorry. United States of America did not sign and even moved out of the 2015 Paris Agreement climate change treaty. I shall briefly tell about the climate change situations. During the late 70s and early 80s, environmental scientists across the world understood to their shocking that there was a huge dent in the Earth's atmosphere. In the stratosphere, there is a huge dent, and that dent was as big as South America, that of South America, through which there was free fall of ultraviolet rays. You see, in the Earth's stratosphere, there is a thing called ozone layer. So, in the ozone layer, suppose this is the Mother Earth and this is the ozone layer. In the ozone layer, this is the sun. In the ozone layer, there was a big dent, and this dent was as big as that of South America, and through this dent UV rays were freely falling. So, this was to their shocking that they understood, and this resulted in global warming. The temperature is going up. So, this virus spread even that can be because of the global warming. Global warming can affect us in many ways which we even do not know. So, global warming will result in increase in sea levels. So, the low lying lands like Maldives and all will get submerged. Some reports say that by in 2050 Maldives will not be there, because the ice will start melting, sea level will go up, and low lying areas will get submerged. So, why ozone layer is getting depleted? Because of ozone depleting substances that we emit, which happens when we go for so called development. That is why it is called for having sustainable development. Development should not be at the expense of environment. Development cannot be at the expense of our own existence. So, we got to have greener policies, to which many nations in the countries committed to 2015 Paris Climate Treaty, but Donald Trump did not sign this agreement, and that was really disheartening to many countries. Mind you, America is the biggest contributor to ozone depleting substances. So, the biggest commitment to control that must have come from America, but that did not happen. Many countries, China, Europe, even India, our country, we all have made deadlines that we would control our greenhouse gas emissions by 2035, 2050, 2060, but no such commitment came from the biggest polluter of the world, the United States of America. So, that was disheartening, but Joe Biden has very clearly said that he would revoke this decision, and this will be one of the decisions that he would take to join the Paris Agreement. So, the environmental scientists across the world are looking forward to such a decision from Joe Biden. Let us hope so. No ban curbed black money, Prime Minister. Of course, it was on November 8, 2016 2016 that the Prime Minister of India banned the 500 rupees and 1000 rupees notes and declared that they would no longer be legal tenders. And when the ruling party says that it was a decision that formalized the economy, the oppositions are crying foul, saying that that was to help big people in the country and no problem was solved by that. Anyway, it is a big debate. I do not comment too much on that at the moment. Next, US government must make up for past mistakes, says the president of Iran. We know that Iran American relationship has got soured. Iran is a very rich country, the country with the biggest natural gas reserves in the world, and the country has got is the biggest manufacturer of dates, which are well taken by the world. But unfortunately, in the name of nuclear aspirations, America has imposed unilateral trade embargo against Iran. So, Iran cannot buy anything or sell anything, buy anything from or sell anything to any countries. So, the change in guard in White House is widely expected as a change in relations with Iran. So, let us hope so what is going to happen. Let us hope. Thank you very much. So, I am concluding the session of the day. I hope you all have liked it, and make sure that you participate, you subscribe to our channel, and make sure that you diligently watch. When you come tomorrow, make sure that you read today's newspapers very well. Then only you can have the best benefit of it. I am very sure that slowly some kind of a transformation is happening in all of you. Reading newspapers is the real thing that you have to do. I am very sure if you attend our classes, if you attend our teaching sessions, your math and your reasoning will improve like anything. That won't pose any challenges at all, because we are teaching you very simply, and that is the reflections of most of you. But again, I warn you that real challenge has to be and will be the inadequacy of the connect with the world, and that is possible only if you read. Thank you very much for being with me, and we